Here's why Doris Day may not have been as wholesome as she seemed. Doris Day, an actress and singer, was one of the entertainment industry's greatest stars. Her success in music and acting stemmed from her prominence in the 1940s and 1950s. But America's sweetest star is more complex than most people think. Doris's personal life was filled with backstabbing spouses and scandalous encounters as she worked hard to advance her profession. Here's what you probably didn't know about Doris Day's remarkable life and times. She was named after a song. Doris Mary Ann Kappelhoff, the daughter of second-generation German immigrants, was born Doris Mary Ann Kappelhoff. Barney Rapp, the conductor of the orchestra and a jazz musician, performed Day After Day, which served as the inspiration for her stage name. Although it's sometimes mistaken for Doris's big track, Day by Day, the two songs are completely different. Despite acquiring her namesake, the vocalist never recorded the former. The song was so popular with audiences that she was dubbed Doris Day. It's surely more stage-worthy than Doris Kappelhoff. A car accident changed her life's direction. While it's difficult to envision a world without Doris Day as a vocalist, it nearly didn't happen. Doris has had a strong desire to dance since she was a child. She created a dance partnership with a friend, Jerry Doherty, and the two were regularly booked in her birthplace of Cincinnati, Ohio. While the kid aspired to be a professional dancer, a vehicle accident in 1937 severely wounded her leg, thereby ending her dreams of contributing a career in dance. Her ambitions and goals were dashed when she was just 15 years old. The road to recovery is paved with gold. Doris discovered the skill that would propel her to fame during the long, drawn-out recuperation period after the automobile accident. Doris would listen to the radio and sing along with Ella Fitzgerald, Tommy Dorsey, and Glenn Miller to keep herself occupied. Her mother saw her daughter's ability immediately and arranged for her to take vocal lessons with Grace Rain. Doris's voice pleased Grace so much that she offered her 3 lessons a week for the price of 1, assuring her mother that she had tremendous potential. From restaurants and radios to big bands and billboards. When it began to happen for Doris, it really began to happen. The young beauty won her first professional gigs as a singer on the WLW radio show Carlin's Carnival and singing at a neighborhood restaurant within the first 8 months of singing classes. It was there that she initially piqued Barney Rapp's interest. Rapp gave her a place in his band, which led to her working with other great band leaders such as Les Brown. Doris made the decision that rocketed her to popularity while working with Brown in her early 20s. The girl from Cincinnati's life would never be the same again. A toxic relationship when she was 17. Doris met cantankerous trombonist Al Jordan while working as a singer for Rapp. Despite warnings from her bandmates and her mother, the youngster fell head over heels in love and married Jordan, aged 23, in 1941. The option would be disastrous, and the marriage was poisonous from the start. Her young husband would frequently become enraged by jealousy and beat her severely. When Doris became pregnant with their son, Terry, Al begged her to have the pregnancy terminated. After a series of horrible and perilous events, the young mother divorced her dictator of a husband just before her 18th birthday. Jordan would subsequently commit suicide with the same rifle he had threatened Doris with in 1967. A Sentimental Journey. Doris was quickly called back to work. Doris recorded Sentimental Journey in early 1945. The words, "I'm going to take a sentimental journey," "I'm going to set my heart at ease," "I'm going to make a sentimental journey," "I'm going to renew old memories," quickly became a huge hit. The song became the unofficial anthem of returning troops. The record's tremendous popularity propelled it to #1 on the charts, and Doris became a breakthrough star. The song remained connected with Day throughout her life, and she recorded various versions of it many times. Doris and the Les Brown Band scored 6 more top 10 songs over the following 2 years. A star was created. Another man distracted her from show business. Doris was a young lady in her prime with a boy to nurture. Despite the fact that her previous marriage had been enough to put anyone off men for life, she started dating another band member, George Weidler, not long after her divorce from Jordan. Leader Les Brown was worried when the duo started sharing a hotel room, which was still considered scandalous for unmarried couples at the time. Weidler, he said, was just as obnoxious as Jordan had been. He ordered the couple to divorce, but they refused and married in 1946. Doris announced her intention to leave show business for the second time in a few years to focus on being a mother and wife. Her promise did not last long. Doris makes her Hollywood debut. When Bob Hope and Hollywood came knocking, Doris couldn't help but seize the chance. She became a regular on Hope's very successful program, and her career grew as her ambition to be a stay-at-home mom faded. Doris was hired as the lead in the musical romantic comedy Romance on the High Seas in 1948. Doris acknowledged to director Michael Curtiz at the audition that she had no acting experience. Curtiz appreciated her honesty and believed she reflected his idea of the all-American girl, which led to her first acting role. Doris's song It's Magic was included in the film and became her first solo success. Doris ran away from her marriage problems. Doris and Weidler relocated to Los Angeles after her interest in Hollywood was sparked. The best place the couple could locate was a rundown trailer on a drug-infested road. The marriage quickly fell apart because Weidler disliked his stepson, Terry, and despised his wife's success. Things worsened when Doris insisted on her mother, Alma, moving in with them to assist, and Doris found employment in New York, as far away from her husband as possible. Weidler filed for divorce when Doris relocated with her mother and kids. Doris breaks records. Doris's first film job brought her a plethora of additional possibilities in Hollywood, and over the following several years she acted in other nostalgic period pictures for Warner Brothers. On Moonlight Bay, By the Light of the Silvery Moon, and Tea for Two were all little films. But 1951's I'll See You in My Dreams was a box office blockbuster, shattering records that had stood for 20 years. Not only was her acting career exploding, but her song, Secret Love, from 1953's Calamity Jane won the Academy Award for Best Original Song, earning her fourth #1 hit in the United States. A not-so-sunny disposition. Doris had worked hard to achieve success, but the demanding work hours often put her in a bad mood. She was separated from her small son for extended periods of time, and it took its toll on the actress, who had conflicting views about her celebrity. Doris would be remembered for her radiant smile and her bright and cheerful on-screen demeanor. But in truth, she was quite the tempter. Her temper outbursts were legendary and were often discussed among those who worked with her. When things didn't go as planned, the singer would stamp her feet, curse like a sailor, and storm around the building, slamming doors and vowing to return to her birthplace and put it all behind her once and for all. Doris wasn't loyal, and things got complicated. Despite having 2 unsuccessful marriages under her belt at the age of 27, Day was still looking for love and was more romantically active than ever. She was seeing her ex-husband George Weidler, leading actor Jack Carson, and her manager Hal Levy all at the same time in the early 1950s. Levy grew infatuated with her and, like most of the guys in her life, was envious. He assaulted Doris after discovering she was sleeping with other guys. Concerned about his actions, she sought assistance from his business colleague Marty Melcher. Melcher was soon added to her list of potential suitors. In 1951, the couple married. Que sera sera almost didn't happen. Doris had mostly portrayed comic roles until the mid-1950s. Her dramatic debut came in the film Love Me or Leave Me, in which she co-starred with famed actor James Cagney. Doris received great acclaim as a serious actor as a result of the part, and she was shortly hired in Alfred Hitchcock's suspense picture The Man Who Knew Too Much. The song Que Sera Sera became associated with Day and was nominated for an Academy Award. It's amusing to think that she first refused to perform it, calling it a children's song. Doris allegedly recorded the song in one take under studio pressure, declaring, "That's the last time you'll ever hear that song." Doris turned down roles to keep her wholesome image. Doris had more business than ever in the 1960s, thanks to her agency and her husband, but the world was changing. Because of a revolution, society was ready for more provocative material towards the end of the decade. However, neither Day's films nor her clean image evolved. It was terrible for a lady who had established the still unbroken record of earning 7 straight awards as the top female box office star when she dropped out of the top 10 totally. Doris was offered the part of Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate, which would have definitely boosted her notoriety, but she declined, considering the screenplay vulgar and offensive. Her late husband had stolen her fortune. Doris had been married to Marty Melcher until his death in 1969, although the marriage was not always cheerful. He was manipulative, and many believed he was taking advantage of Doris. When her late husband died, the 47-year-old actress realized that he and her attorney, Jerome Rosenthal, had spent her riches, leaving her with nothing except debt. Not only had he financially destroyed her, but Melcher had also signed Doris to a series of contracts without her knowledge, one of which was the Doris Day Show. The widow despised the prospect of working on television, but she had no choice.